What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to another Legends of Runeterra video for you all. Today we're going to be doing a rapid fire overview of patch 1.2 for Legends of Runeterra. And so let's start it off with our champion updates. We have Vladimir. His leveled up ability is changing from 1 damage per attacking friendly unit to a 1 damage drain per friendly unit. So same effect, instead it is just going to be draining the enemy nexus. I do not think this will affect the Vladimir play patterns, but it definitely will increase the survivability of Vladimir, but I don't think it'll potentially push Vladimir over the edge in terms of playability. I think he'll pretty much remain where he is. We have Karma going up to 6 cost from 5 cost at both levels. This is a well-deserved nerf, and I think it definitely will have an impact across the board on Karma's play patterns in various decks. We have the Shen going from 2 to 3 power and 3 to 4 power on his leveled up. Plus 1 to power is very relevant. It makes him a fearsome blocker, and I think this will definitely give Shen a little bit more viability in terms of playability. We have the Vi getting a -1 nerf to her health. I think this is a well-deserved nerf. Vi has been very relevant across very many archetypes and finds a home in very many decks. I don't think it will necessarily affect her play percentages, but it will definitely make it easier to answer her once she hits the board. We have Hecarim, surprisingly, getting a 1 power buff. So he's a 6 mana 5/5 that summons the ephemerals. And I don't necessarily think this will push Hecarim over the edge in terms of making him as OP as he was in beta, but he definitely could find a little bit more power, obviously, and push his playability a little bit up in the ephemeral archetype. We have the Great Horn Companion going up 1 attack, so 5 mana 5/5 scout. I think this is pretty strong. They're kind of reallocating power from some of the other nerfed cards, but I think there are definitely he's competing in a rather large pool of Demacia 5-drops, and I think a lot of them are better, so I don't necessarily think this will affect his playability. The Grizzled Ranger is going down to 3 power, so 3/1. I think this will not affect his playability as much. I think it's still an incredibly powerful card, but with the Badger Bear nerf as well, making it a 3 mana 3/4, I think this overall is a well-deserved couple of nerfs for the Demacia region. This will affect definitely like win percentages for Demacia, I think, but overall still a couple of very strong cards. We have, surprisingly, the Laurent Chevalier. We got the 4 mana 3/2 now instead of a 1 health. So I think this definitely improves his playability quite a bit. There's definitely some sort of, with Shen, this is very strong. There's some sort of archetype here, like value challenger, barrier archetype here. Being able to survive Static Shock and the Vile Feast is very important. We have a nerf to standalone. It is going to 4 mana. This heavily hits the 3-drop into standalone archetype, being Zed or Fiora. I think this is a huge nerf. It will definitely affect playability of a lot of different archetypes. We have the Legion Rearguard going down to 1 health. This is a huge nerf. They definitely wanted to hit the early game curve for burn, and I think this will definitely affect the win percentages for burn quite a bit. Wrong image for the Kindly Tavern Keeper, but the Kindly Tavern Keeper is going up 1 power, which is very relevant. It could definitely lead to some interesting deck building possibilities with this 3-drop spot for our Freljord. We have Deep Med going up to 5 cost instead of 4, which is very important. This card was the best card in the set, and being a little bit more expensive, I think, is definitely going to hurt the card quite a bit, but I think it will still see play in pretty much every Ionia archetype. This was the expected nerf for Boom Crew, going down to 3 health. It makes it less likely for it to get multiple attacks off, so well-deserved nerf. It will affect the win percentage of burn for sure. Brood Awakening getting reverted from its beta buff. It is going back up to 6 cost. This will affect the play patterns of the Karina Vi decks and other decks that abuse this quite heavily. Playing this on turn 3 for 6 mana eliminates the ability to play something that costs 5, and going into the next turn another control spell, potentially Grasp or Whale. The Longtooth going up to 2 health, very interesting. I don't know if this will push the Fizz archetype over the edge, but if they keep giving it love, this could be very annoying very quickly, so we'll have to wait and see on this. The Monkey Idol is still unplayable. It went up to 5 health, but this is still a very not-so-good card. The Slop Pot went up +1/+1, very interesting buff. They obviously want this card to be played more, but do I think it will see more play in archetypes other than the ones that it was already played in? I do not think so. And then the updated watch list includes Unyielding Spirit. Obviously, people are not enjoying this card. The Pilfered Goods and Card Stealing Klepto packages are being watched. It creates kind of an unfun environment for a lot of people. Karma Ezreal is being watched. We will see how the Karma nerf and with the burn nerf, we'll see if Ezreal crops up again. We'll see how that goes. And then Nexus Damage and Rising Tides. We've hit the burn with this patch, hit the burn with the nerf hammer, and we'll see how it goes from there. But that is it. I hope you guys like this rapid fire overview. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe for more content. You can also check out my in-depth overview as well that I posted up today. But I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.